What's up? I'm glad you pulled up. I'm Jared. This is the LVME. And earlier today, I had a chance to sit down with Adam Calhoun and have a great conversation about a whole bunch of different topics. Here in part one of the interview, we're going to be talking about his brand new album with Mesus entitled Pale Horse. It comes out September 13th, 2024 on all streaming platforms. And I want you all to do me a favor, please. Go pick this album up. Let's show these guys support. It enables us to send a lot of messages when we do that. Number one, we are able to directly thank the artists for their hard work and show our appreciation for them, knowing that it's going directly to them. It's not trickling down through the filter of a giant corporation. And number two, it allows us to send a message to those corporations that they don't have to tell us what kind of music that we want to hear and what kind of music that we want to listen to and what kind of music that we have to support. And it also sends another message to all the aspiring artists out there that they don't have to go with a record label and have their music and their ideas and their creativity shoved through a corporate filter. It's 10, maybe 15 bucks. I don't know. I couldn't pre-order mine because I don't use Apple, but I'm getting it tomorrow along with everybody else. That's less than the cost of a lunch. Let's do this. Let's show them our support. Let's go with the video, everybody.
Adam, and thank you for joining me, man. We've been trying to do this for a little while.
This has been a long time coming, and I want to say this before I go any further. You are my favorite reactor to my music because I feel like you understand me and you get me and you break down my music like exactly how I meant for it to be taken. And you like know my catalog. You know my catalog better than I know my catalog. And forget about my catalog. You know hip hop, so it's like it's an honor every time you react to one of my songs.
Shoot.
Because it's like, holy shit, this dude like really understands what I'm doing here.
Man, that's cool of you to say, man. I
love mean that. I've never said that
hip hop. No, I know. I appreciate that, man. That's cool. I've been trying to do this YouTube thing for a while. You know, YouTube fucks with my channel all the time because I smoke a bit of weed. And when it started, it was kind of like a cannabis-centered channel because we got the legal weed here in Vegas, and I was trying to just be in that area and focus on that, and YouTube just shut it down, so I had to kind of expand out.
No, your hip-hop knowledge and reactions are amazing. Even if you didn't like my music, the fact that you have a real deep book and depth and understanding of hip-hop is like, I respect it.
Thanks, man. I just do the videos because I want to talk about rap with people, and my friends would never want to get on the phone and talk about the latest music with me. So I was like, fuck it, I'm just going to do this reaction shit and see what happens.
I love it. I hope you keep going. I hope you grow and get bigger and bigger, man.
Yeah, it's been grinding. I finally cracked 10K, which, you know, that's like a magic number on YouTube, kind of when you're small like me. It gets you in that top 1%, and YouTube starts pumping you a bit more and shit. So
next is 100,000 for you, brother.
Yeah, I say word. Well, listen, man, you got the new album. You and Mesus is coming out. We're recording this on Thursday. It comes out tomorrow on September 13th.
Yeah.
It's Pale Horse. Let's talk about that for a minute. That's the famous quote, you know, from Revelation. It's Pale Horse. Death rides in, hell follows behind. It's ominous. You started the Mirrors video with that quote from the Bible, which was super dope. Is that kind of like played any inspiration on it? Like, where did that come from as far as the title?
Well, I mean, it was inspired by Chuck Mesus. I call him Chuck because I've known him since we were teenagers, literally. And he's had like 4 different rap names, but that's just, he calls me Adam, I call him Chuck, that's it.
Right.
But that's Mesus. And he's very faith-driven, Bible, God, and you know, this is our project, so I felt it was fitting. And it's the first song on the track, and we're starting the first thing you hear on our album is something from the Bible. It happens to be Revelations, but you know, and I think that's dope. But before the music even starts, something that he's very, you know, passionate about is his faith and stuff. So that was more a shout out to him for me doing that, you know.
What was it like? Like, I respect a friendship. Like, I knew before you guys released the video about your friendship, I knew you guys knew each other. I didn't really know how deep it went. And I respect that a lot. just in my life right now, that's about all I have, are my friends that I had since back in the day, and I've just been losing them left and right here lately. So I thought it was really cool seeing you come out with a friend you've known for that long, because like you can't really recreate those relationships that you've had for 20, 30 years. Like my friend that just died, I was friends with him 36 years. Like you can't fix it. So it's a special thing. So I was real curious about how the two of you, this wouldn't be like a normal collaboration, just you and some rapper that maybe you just want to do music with, but this is you and a close personal friend. You're both doing something you love. How did the collaboration and creative process work with doing, I think there's 10 tracks on the album, right?
Yeah.
Like talk about that a little bit.
Well, like, me and Chuck was the first person I ever rapped with. I think we were 18 when we like recorded like the first thing on like a cassette tape on like a karaoke machine.
Yeah.
And then like he was the first person I ever recorded something with in the studio. I brought him up to the Hill in Joliet, to the studio, and we recorded our first shit there. And we just kept going, and we were a group. We were a rap group. Everywhere if you saw him, you saw me, and vice versa.
Yeah.
And we did this, over 20 years ago, and throughout life, things happened. I got in trouble, and I was in and out of jail, and then I was in prison, and he moved out to California and had a different life out there, but he was still chasing the rap shit down. And we would stay in touch. We would fall out of touch. We would stay in friendship. We'd fall out of friendship. But we've always remained brothers. We bump heads.
Yeah.
We argue. We don't talk for a year here or there, whatever. But every time we come back into the same room or whatever, it's like we just left off where we were, like it's like we've known each other for so long. It's just, I like it a lot better being closer than further, and as I've gotten older, a bit of my edge and a bit of my intensity has worn off, which makes people get closer to me. Because, when I'm intense and when I'm passionate about something, sometimes that kind of breaks people and pushes them away, and sometimes it brings people closer, and they rise and thrive. But I have sometimes a problem with breaking people, and I used to do that, I think, to Chuck a lot, as kids and even as adults. Just a side of me that I need to work on. And that's my way of putting people through the ringer and pushing on them so hard, is because that's how I am with myself. And I expect them, oh, wow, cool. You see that in your screen?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I expect people to be like that, and I'm not afraid to be pushed back. But most people don't push back. They kind of push away,
Sure.
Yeah.
Takes a different type, especially these days. Do you think it's harder or easier when you're making music? Is it harder to work with someone and do a collaboration, or is it harder to work by yourself and just be responsible for yourself?
It's like that's a double-edged sword, because like working with someone else, you're getting better, number one, because you have to compete with someone else. It's like if you go for a run, you got to keep pace.
Right.
When you're working with someone else, you're getting better. You're learning more about yourself. You're learning more about the other person. Plus, the fans love when people collaborate, their favorite artists collaborate together. But the actual process, I honestly think, no, I can say this with 100% certainty. I enjoy the process of working with someone else more, but you do go through more shit, more struggle, as far as, because you have to bend a little. Sure. And be malleable and compromise.
Sure. How does that work? Like when you guys are coming together, I always wonder this about rappers. Like, I mean, for instance, are you just keeping, like, say, a book of rhymes that you're constantly working on, or do you hear a beat and have a thought about a topic and then sit down and write, or is it a little bit of both? I mean, what's up with the flow? Are you matching that to the beat first, or are you waiting until you have lyrics and then a flow?
So none
Speak
of
on that a little.
So I don't write for fun anymore,
Okay.
which sucks, actually. I only start when I do a project. When I'm done, I do not pick up a pen until I'm so what happens is some people might get something in them where they're like, oh, I want to write. I get something in me where I'm like, oh, I want to do an album. So instead of me saying I want to go write a song, I go, I want to go write an album, and that's when I start writing. So I usually take a few months off between each album to like kind of soak in life and start pouring it out again. And then that's my process. Now the process of actually writing for me has changed over the years. I used to just play the beat, pick the beat first, and whatever beat I picked, start writing to it in the studio. And just, I always had a good cadence. I can always find that pocket real good. So I would just rhyme words together, but I really wasn't saying shit. It just sounded cool, right? Now my process is pick the beat that I want, sink in that first line, and I walk away. I cut the beat off and walk away. And I start before I fall asleep at night, I'll start to fall asleep and I'll kind of wake myself up and I'll start writing bars I'm thinking of to that beat. And then I come back and I have to adjust them so they're on beat, and I have a whole ass song done. But if I sit there and listen to the beat nonstop, I'm just gonna rhyme words together, I have to walk away from the beat, take myself away. I'm too close to it. I gotta take myself away, and I gotta close my eyes and think of a cool way to say things, and punchlines and metaphors and doubles and rhyming almost every word with every word. You know that. The artistic side of it, that's where I'm at now. I used to hate that word, artist. I'm like, I'm not an artist. I'm here to work. I'm becoming comfortable with being me, and I am an artist.
For sure, yeah. On the upcoming album, is there a song that's standing out for you that you really like?
I really liked Mirrors a lot. I like the first two singles we did, the one with Cat and Struggle. But there's a song on there called Judas the Liar, and I think that song is fire. I wrote the hook, and I did a lot of the hooks on the album, and I delivered them, but I couldn't deliver that hook for some reason. It just wasn't working for me. And Chuck delivered the hook. He's on the hook, and he killed it. And it's a really cool song. It's the last song on the album. And what time is it? Maybe I can send it to. What'll happen if I?
I don't know if I can play it on here or not. I've never tried.
I was gonna send it to you so you can listen to it. But yeah, Judas the Liar. It's the last song on the album. And again, it's cool because we were able to incorporate, again, another paying homage to, Chuck and his outlook on life.
Sure. Sounds like I got the biblical theme at the beginning and at the end of the album. That way, kind of.
Yeah, but it wasn't meant to be that. Like, the song's really about this. I say, Judas killed Jesus, Brutus killed Caesar. Like, your best friends will kill you before, your best friends will deceive you before believe. Like, it's like really, it's basically about like in this game, the people that are closest to you are the ones that can hurt you the most. Yeah. It's super dope.
I'm looking forward to checking that out. That sounds dope. I saw it on the track list. I got all the songs here. I copied them down when I was looking at the internet earlier today. A lot of them sound pretty interesting. If I Was President.
We were so close. This has never happened. I have never made a body of work, an album that I was able to listen to from front to stop, like beginning to end. And we were so fucking close. I hate that song.
Do you?
Yeah. I almost wanted to make the album 9 songs so we didn't have to skip one. I didn't have to skip one. Now, the people might be like, that probably is going to be the people's favorite song.
Yeah, that'll be the one that blows up, right?
I personally was so close to being able to listen to this whole album without one skip.
Oh, shit.
And that was the one. I'm not proud or happy of that song. It doesn't really fit the album, but who knows? These people, everything that I love, the people don't love. The shit I hate, they love. So I don't fucking know.
That's funny how that works out, right? Well, let's circle back to Mirrors a little bit. Obviously it was the first single that had come out, and it had well, for me personally, it had an impact right away, and I think it did for a lot of people. And you kind of followed that up. You made a video called "It's a Long One, but It's Worth It" just the other day, and it kind of ties in with that theme, which you kind of talk a lot about, which I think is great because we need it. And that's just like mental health for men specifically.